Ida B. Wells Barnett was born into slavery in Holly Springs, Mississippi, on July 16, 1862. Her parents, James and Elizabeth Wells, valued education and enrolled Ida in Rust College, a newly established institution for African Americans. Tragedy struck when Ida was a teenager. A yellow fever epidemic claimed the lives of her parents and youngest brother. At 16, Ida assumed responsibility for her 5 younger siblings and took a job as a teacher in a rural school. This early experience with hardship ignited a fire within Ida B. Wells. It instilled in her a profound sense of responsibility for her community and a deep-seated belief in the power of education. Little did she know this young teacher from Mississippi would go on to become one of the most influential voices for justice in American history. Her early experiences, though steeped in adversity, became the bedrock upon which she built a legacy of courage, resilience, and unwavering advocacy for equality. In 1884, a pivotal moment occurred in Ida B. Wells's life. While traveling on a first-class train car to Nashville, she was ordered to give up her seat to a white man. Ida refused to comply, even when the conductor and 2 men attempted to physically remove her. Though she was ultimately removed from the train, this act of defiance sparked a fire in her soul. Ida B. Wells turned to journalism as her weapon of choice. She began writing for black newspapers, using her voice to expose the realities of racism and discrimination in the American South. Her articles, often published under the pen name Iola, resonated with black readers who found in her words a powerful call to action. In 1889, she became a partner in the Free Speech and Headlight, a Memphis newspaper that amplified her message against racial injustice. Wells's writing was infused with urgency and a call for action, awakening consciences and inspiring change. Ida B. Wells's journalistic endeavors brought her face to face with the brutal reality of lynching in the South. In 1892, 3 black businessmen in Memphis, friends of Wells, were lynched after a dispute with a white competitor. This horrific event became a turning point in her life, propelling her into a lifelong crusade against lynching. Wells began a meticulous investigation into lynching cases across the South, gathering data and interviewing witnesses. Her findings challenged the narrative that lynchings were justified acts of retribution. Through her writing and lectures, Wells exposed lynching as a barbaric tool of racial control and oppression. She debunked the myth of the black rapist, showing that lynching victims were often targeted for economic competition or asserting their basic human rights. Her work, though met with fierce opposition, shed light on the horrors of racial terror and ignited a national and international movement against lynching. Ida B. Wells's anti-lynching crusade extended far beyond the United States. In 1893, Wells embarked on her first speaking tour of Great Britain. Her lectures in major cities across the UK drew large crowds eager to hear her first-hand accounts of racial terror in the American South. Wells's powerful oratory and meticulous research captivated audiences and challenged the image of the United States as a beacon of freedom. Her speaking tour was a resounding success, garnering widespread media coverage and support for the anti-lynching movement in Britain. She returned to the UK the following year, solidifying her status as a leading voice against racial injustice on the world stage. Wells's international advocacy exposed the hypocrisy of American democracy and pressured the United States to address systemic racism. In 1909, a group of activists gathered in New York City to discuss the ongoing crisis of racial injustice in the United States. Among the attendees was Ida B. Wells Barnett. This meeting marked the genesis of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or NAACP. Wells played a pivotal role in the organization's founding, lending her voice and experience to the fight for equal rights. Though initially marginalized within the organization, Wells remained a tireless advocate for racial justice until her death in 1931. The NAACP, co-founded by Wells, would go on to play a leading role in the dismantling of Jim Crow segregation and the advancement of civil rights for African Americans. Ida B. Wells's life was marked by a series of firsts as she fearlessly challenged societal norms. She was a pioneer in journalism, becoming one of the first Black women to own and operate a newspaper. Her fearless reporting on lynching set a new standard for investigative journalism. Beyond journalism, Wells was a tireless advocate for women's suffrage, recognizing the interconnectedness of racial and gender equality. She co-founded several organizations dedicated to advancing the rights of Black women, including the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs and the Alpha Suffrage Club. Wells's commitment to social justice extended to labor rights, educational equality, and economic justice. Her life and work serve as a beacon of inspiration, demonstrating the power of courage and perseverance to effect meaningful change. Ida B. Wells Barnett's legacy continues to inspire generations of activists, journalists, and everyday citizens. Her fearless pursuit of truth and unwavering commitment to justice serve as a powerful reminder that one voice can ignite a movement. Wells's meticulous documentation of lynching laid the groundwork for future generations to continue the fight against racial terror. Her work helped to shift public opinion and pave the way for anti-lynching legislation. In recent years, there has been a resurgence of interest in Ida B. Wells's life and work. Her writings are now widely studied and her legacy celebrated through statues, memorials, and museum exhibits. Her name has become synonymous with the fight for racial justice, a testament to the enduring power of her ideas. Ida B. Wells Barnett's life and legacy stand as a beacon of hope and inspiration, reminding us that the pursuit of justice requires unwavering courage and relentless determination. Like and subscribe to People of Color for more stories.